What is going on? This is Michael Hacker with the Hacker Outdoors podcast. On today's episode, we go over the amazing footage coming out of Hawaii and then talk about getting into hiking. If you like what you hear, please give us a thumbs up and a review. And without further ado,
Hold on a second, Penis breath.
Oh, hey, ooh, that is, of course.
There's some serious crackage going on. I don't know if he does.
Yeah, I saw it. And if it's caught on film. So, yep, there we go. No words. I don't. He probably can't hear us because his headphones are connected. So, yeah.
Time to charge.
Listen, I was telling him Julian just got back from Puerto Rico and brought me back that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, buddy. So he dropped it off for me today. Joe,
Right, we're streaming Minecraft and we're filming a podcast all at the same time. So,
oh baby. So Joe, I'm just gonna tell you, we're recording here, we're live, and we just got some really epic plumber crack when you got up.
We did.
Damn it! Come on.
The world deserved it, Joe. We needed it right now. That was the moment we needed.
Yeah. It's National Popcorn Day, ladies and gentlemen, and we got some butt cleave.
Nice.
Dude,
Could have been nipple. Could have been worse.
Could have definitely been worse.
Take it easy, Janet Jackson.
Yeah. Well, episode 19, right, guys? Thanks for jumping on. Strange day, National Popcorn Day, right? A lot of things going on in the world. And I got to be honest, I did follow pretty closely everything that was going on this weekend as far as Jaws, right? Jaws, Waimea, and Outer Reef. And I mean, anyone who's into surfing in any way, shape, or form has probably already seen this. But I mean, anyone is out there trying their hand at this swell, and it is just, the footage is unbelievable. I mean, Joe's not really paying attention because he's playing Minecraft. He's
paying attention.
But the other day I had to. I forget what it was Saturday, so it was the day of the big swell, and I was watching it, while doing housework all day, and they had a live stream of all the different big spots, and mostly Waimea is what was playing, and I turned it off, and when Danielle came over, we made dinner, and we were watching a movie, and I was like, hold on, we need to take a look at see what's going on at Waimea right now. So put Waimea on, and I'm trying to explain to her what it actually was going on Saturday. I was like, I swam in the beach break there when it was 10 foot or 10 to 15 foot Waimea, or where it first starts breaking, and it was intense at that size just to swim in the beach break. And the tower throws a whistle on whenever a set comes, so that way everybody knows to get the hell out of the water, or at least get ready for the bombs coming through. And I can only imagine what it looked like in person at this size. It was thumping. I mean, I don't know what the official call was size wise, but I know the swell. Billy Kemper said it was like 22 feet at like 17 seconds at Jaws, which usually I'm pretty sure that Oahu's opened a little less open water swell, so it's gonna be a little smaller. But it was a solid 35 feet. If they were able to run the Eddy this year, they would have run the Eddy contest. Wow. I think it would have been on the smaller side for Eddy, but it was still an Eddy contestable conditions.
Yeah, a couple guys said it's the biggest they've seen, or the best they've seen, I should say.
Best, yeah. Wind, I think, was the big thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, I saw
it was clean.
Someone had posted that it was the biggest, and then someone else had posted that it wasn't the biggest, but it was the best that they have seen in their lime. And I
think there was one time when they ran the Eddy was better. There was that one time it was real big.
The time Bruce and company were getting barreled on the beach break. Remember, they would ride it all the way in, and then the reform they were tucking in on the beach break.
Tucking in, yep, that was them.
Yeah, that was a big day. Yeah, it was pretty incredible. And I, our boy who we always give a shout out to, Ben Gravy. I'm sure we'll see his footage soon enough in the next few days. Surfing with Jamie O'Brien, and they were at the Outer Reefs, and I won't say which one it was, but I said to Joe right away in the text, I was like, I know exactly where this is.
Well, you saw pictures of Jamie's bomb. I mean, Ben was out there. I mean, that was big ups to him. I mean,
Well, Healy
that
had posted
was
some video of them surfing. He was surfing with Jamie O'Brien. So there's some footage that's out there, but I'm looking forward to seeing what Gravy's podcast or vlog is going to post, because that's some pretty crazy stuff.
He's behind a few days.
Yeah,
so
because
he's been in Hawaii. I think he's like back.
Well, what they're doing, they're not back posting. They're releasing all together. So the big swell day, Jamie and him are going to release something together. If you've been watching the vlogs, there hasn't been much surfing in it because he was out. But if you watch the beginning of his vlogs, but like he does like the intro clip, there's pictures of him getting bombs in Hawaii from this year and there at Pipe and out where they were. So quite impressive for him, man. Him and Scooter were out there. They were out there. Skis. I mean, Will
was out there too. Yeah.
I was quite shocked.
Those jet skis going over the wave. That full send. I think I sent you the video, Brian. I don't know if I sent it to you, Joe.
Up and over.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, a little closer to home, you know, I was looking at our good friends at Pro Surf Coaches right here in Jersey. They were posting about, you know, this weekend swell, and they were out there with a bunch of guys that we know. Looks like the Z Boys got a little pitted and got a little bit too comfortable before eating it out there. You know, not nearly anywhere as beautiful conditions as of course Hawaii, to be expected, but definitely respectable for a January day, early January day.
It was a solid swell. For Jersey standards, I think the wind kind of knocked it down a little bit, and some of the, you know, we'll talk in counties here. Some of the northern Monmouth County area was more manageable than some of the other areas, and I know it was bigger down south. But yeah, it looked like it was a lot of fun, and you know, guys were definitely scoring if they were at the right spot at the right time. But yeah, it was good. It's good, solid swell. And the Z Boys, looks like he went over the falls. I think, or actually, no, it wasn't him that went over the falls. Someone, one of the photos went over the falls, and then one of the Z Boys ate it on the drop on one of his waves. But I know he was charging that day. So
that was a great shot, man.
Stepping up.
Yeah,
I love that.
So I was gonna say that was him just like sliding right off the back of the board. I mean, yeah, and the other photos. I mean, everyone wipes out, right? Not knocking on him at all, but like, man, good for him. He got out there. It looked like he definitely got some nice waves, as did everyone from, you know, our friends over there, from Robbie down to Mike, and of course the rest of the Z Boys.
Yeah, solid.
A couple other Jersey boys doing it out too in Hawaii. Did you see the picture Ryan Mack posted of at Pipe with what's his name? That other Jersey Charger.
Oh, it was New York. It was Ballroom.
Yeah, Ballroom. Oh my God, that wave he was in. I mean, New York and New Jersey are put
stepping
out there charging Hawaii. I mean, who would ever thought that?
Even Ryan Mack stepping up with the photo and video here, man. I like that. He does a good job putting stuff together.
Yeah, he definitely has put some sick shots out since he's been there.
Good sense of humor too, which is rare.
Yeah. And quite impressive, man, to see it.
Brian, I got a comment. Number one, like, your beard from this angle looks fantastic. It looks nice. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Starting to come in a little bit.
We're gonna, I like it.
I can't grow a beard.
It's definitely the Hacker side, not the McCormick side, Joe.
This is a year, man. Like, don't get me wrong, I trim it, but this is a year of growing it out. Like,
you see what happens with me. I get these I get these white trash patches, like just like Joe Dirt. Like, I'll have some hair here and bald here, and like bald here. I mean, I rock it. What are you gonna do?
Right? Why not?
This is 2.5 weeks today.
Well, you're just a manly man.
Manly man. It took many years to be grown in at all, though.
This is 4 weeks of no shaving right here.
Crushed the game.
Joe, what's going on with your mullet, man? I know we have to talk about this because, you know, your season's coming up. Before we pivot into what we're going to talk about hiking, you know, your season's coming up. I thought you were going to go completely whiskey tango with the mullet, the rat tail, one or the other, and then of course your whiskey tango mustache. So can we expect that for this year's season?
Maybe the mustache. I think the mullet's going to stay. I haven't cut it since I got a 4th place finish in the tournament. So
nice. Some good luck in that hair.
Just letting it go, you know. I might have to get the dead ends trimmed a little bit because it's curling like a bro bra, and I just want it kind of straight, kind of like a
I
Seth
like it.
Felder type of deal.
I like it.
If you haven't seen Seth's hair, you need to check that out. It's pretty badass. Or my Matt Robinson's hair, kind of going with that trend. Just real nice mullet.
I love it. No,
Like
it makes
it.
Pretty
perfect sense.
sweet.
Mullet's coming back, man. A friend of ours who's part of the surf group, he posted a photo of his son, and he's got a mullet going. And this is a high school kid, so everything's cyclical. Everything's coming back. I mean, unfortunately, I will not be rocking the mullet anytime soon. Maybe I will. No, I won't. I won't be rocking the mullet anytime soon.
You need to rock the mullet. Keep the back long. Please do it.
Yeah.
Nothing on top. You would win money.
I like it. I like it.
I mean, check out this dude. I mean, that's the mullet right there, boys.
Wow.
Oh, it's all in the back. I can man bun it. I can do all the above.
Live
because of
action.
Joe circa 95.
Yeah,
Oh, it's down to my. I mean, I could ponytail it like a man bun like no tomorrow.
See, my hair was way too curly to let it go that way. It would literally just start poofing out. And I mean, I would try straightening it. I would do everything I could. I would comb it, and just finally was like, I'm done with this crap. And I was losing it. So it was like, time to shave it.
You just gotta let the back grow. I mean, that's it. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I got plenty of hair back there. I could definitely.
we just gotta let it go.
I
mean, make a fashion statement.
Listen, if I ever join the Pro Bass Tour, I will grow a mullet. I promise, and I will shave everything but my mustache.
I mean, I'll try to grow a mustache for you guys. We can see how it turns out. But
Be glorious. Remember, I think it was the first time we went to Costa Rica. We all grew mustaches. The entire
Yes, you
crew.
did.
It was like, let's you grow the worst mustache, and some of the best surf video footage of all time, homemade from the original GoPro 1. And we all had these awful these 70s stashes going on, and it was hilarious. Gene had the straight shot with the handlebar.
Yes,
Money.
I know the video you're talking about.
We got stopped at the at customs because none of our faces looked like our passports.
Did you tell me you were offering free mustache rides?
They looked at the passports like, who is this? And like, we were all clean shaven, and then everyone's got a mustache when they're in person. It's so funny.
Hey, I look just like I do on my passport, and every time I've ever gone through airport security, I basically get frisked and cavity searched. Like, it's just I don't know what it is. But I will say, like, the past 2 times we've gone flying, of course, before everything going on in the world, I went through fine. But like, I've been held at gunpoint at airports for various reasons, and it's never anything that I've done wrong. Traveling's always fun. Traveling's always fun.
It's a trip.
I'm like, who has my name and who is using it for nefarious bad things, right? Like,
who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Joe, there you go.
I got stopped back from away from Mexico for 2 hours. That was fun.
Wow.
They went through everything.
Yeah.
I had nothing to hide.
No, never did.
Nothing to hide. So,
it's. I mean, traveling is intense, and I mean, like I said, I've been stopped in foreign countries with their border guard and everything like that with their guns, and that you do not want to be in a situation.
And
like
you don't
that.
want to pet their dogs either, because I made that mistake in the Dominican. I really did.
Of
Guys
course
like, no
you did.
petting the dog. And he has like an AK-47. I'm like, okay.
Oh no, don't do that. No,
I did that. That was bad. Bad
idea. Well, we'll get into some more travel stories in a later episode, but I think watching everything going on in Hawaii, I was thinking really, it is cold here. We do not have any snow in Jersey, and it's freaking killing me. I think snow is coming, hopefully in the next week or two. It looks like that, but we did have a few flurries in the past few days here, but it's not cold enough to really ice fish. It's not warm enough to really fish, right? Like, it's frigid. It's just a weird month so far. So it got me thinking, right? Like, you got to get out of the house. And, I've done maybe 2 quick local hikes here in Jersey, pretty close to the home, staying close to home with everything going on. And, hiking is really what is the word I would use here, right? It has the lowest cost of entry of any outdoor activity, right? I mean, we've been hiking, Brian, and outdoor camping for, as long as I can remember, right? So, I figured it was a good topic to talk about because a lot of people know about hiking. A lot of people think that they need to go out and spend all this money in order to get into an outdoor activity. And, if you look at old pictures of guys and gals in the olden days out in the middle of the woods hiking and camping and, basically an old pair of boots, dungarees, and a jacket. I mean, you can do it depending upon where you are. I wouldn't necessarily recommend it if you're in some really cold climates and whatnot, but you really don't need much to get into hiking. I mean, there's lists online that you can look at that will tell you everything you should bring with you in a perfect world, but we really don't have places like that here in New Jersey, or at least in this area of New Jersey that we live in. If you go further west, yes, that you need to bring a laundry list of things. So I'm gonna toss it to Brian for a second. And Brian, you former Boy Scout, right?
Yeah,
You've
he went to the camp in Maryland.
Yeah, he went to the camp in Maryland. He did some snow camping.
Yeah.
And that didn't go so well.
The snow camping went well.
Well, didn't you forget your sleeping bag, young man?
No. That was a fishing trip, actually.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, at Sandy Hook. The snow camping, they told you not to bring anything other than a sleeping bag. So a sleeping bag and a pad to sleep on, and that was it. And you had to build your own shelter. But the one I forgot my sleeping bag. It was a fishing trip to Sandy Hook, and I remember it was such a funny day. I was actually still playing baseball at that point, so it must have been one of my last years doing Boy Scouts. It was like middle school, and I was playing fall ball, and it had to be late September, early October, and it was still pretty chilly out. And I pitched a game, and it was a big, really, really good game. I think I had a shutout, and I got the game-winning ball and everything. But that night, my mom drove me down to Sandy Hook to drop me off to go on this overnight camp, and it was to go fishing. It was gonna be a lot of fun. I didn't check my bag. It's like number one rule when you're a Boy Scout is be prepared and double check all your shit. And guess what I didn't do?
Yeah.
So it was a cold night, but I had the space blanket and made do. It was what it was. But
well, I know you and I, having spent a lot of time out in the western part of New Jersey, close to the Gap. When we go fishing, it's not, I'll say roadside fishing. Is that the right way of putting it? So I liken a lot of our fishing activities to be directly in line with hiking because we are hiking into places. We tend to bring everything that we need just in case you get, stuck out there. But, keep in mind, there are hiking trails super close to home. I mean, within, I'll say 10 miles of my house right here, I probably have a good 30 or so different types of areas that you can hike on, and that's hundreds of trails. And it's everything from small mile long trails to some pretty long or can be long trails, depending upon what you want to do with it. But I was doing a little bit of research, hopping into this, and I said, I know what I bring because I create lists, and we've always done that, right? We share them as we're doing camping trips and everything like that. But I wanted to see what is the recommendation for winter hiking, right? Because Don and I went hiking. It was pretty freaking cold, right? We did 3 miles, which isn't, in my opinion, anything that's too lofty of a goal. This, I think a couple weeks ago, if anyone's seen the YouTube video, I went up to the Gap and we did a trail, and we wound up just shy of 10 miles. So that's a little bit more extended. And I also didn't bring all these things that are on the Appalachian Mountain Club's winter conditions gear checklist. And I kind of have a love-hate with things, right? Like I'm a minimalist. I think you're a little bit of a minimalist. Like I like to do things that kind of double for other things, but I also like to be prepared just in case things happen, right? And we've seen people, and we've had to rescue people, we'll say, quote, air quote, that we've seen out in the wilds that are wearing flip-flops that are completely lost. I'll tell a story about that in a minute, but Appalachian Mountain Club recommends, of course, it says no checklist is infallible. Before you head on an adventure, it is important to check the weather, prepare for worst possible conditions, and make a plan based on your personal and your group's abilities in mind. I think every time that I've ever had to intercede on someone who's been out there, it's been because they didn't know their own abilities, right? And we'll just leave it at that. But of course, you have your day pack and backpack, a waterproof pack cover. I don't know. In a perfect world, sure. High energy food and snacks, always have snacks and food, right? Water, at least 2 quarts per person. I am a huge drinker. I'm always drinking water, so always bring it. It says water bottles and an insulation system. Okay. Drink mixes for hot drinks on the trail. Once again, not always necessary. Water treatment system. It depends where you're going, right? A trowel, toilet paper, always bring. Hand sanitizer, always bring. Resealable double bags, plastic for toilet paper. Sunscreen, lip balm, sunglasses or ski goggles, first aid kit, always a must. Personal medication, for example, an inhaler for asthma or an EpiPen for allergies. A repair kit, including a knife, multi-tool, and duct tape. I have some interesting things that I do with duct tape is I take an old Visa gift card, for example, and I'll wrap some duct tape around that. And then what that does is that I don't have to bring a huge roll. I have maybe a good 15 feet of, duct tape wrapped up in something that's the size of a credit card, just a little thicker. Headlamp with flashlights and extra batteries. I always carry a headlamp. I always test a headlamp. I don't bring extra batteries. Lighter or matches, I bring a fire stick, right? So fire starter, whistle, mirror, route description, guidebook, trail map, compass, yes, trip itinerary, and the list goes on. And I'm reading this and I'm thinking, okay, so watch, cell phone, camera with extra batteries. You don't need a camera. Okay, your cell phone can double as that. I always bring a cell phone with me just in case.
This sounds like more like a vacation list.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is like a backpack.
This is not survival, really, is it? I mean, is that what it's supposed to?
Well, that's kind of what that's why I said I have a love-hate with it. I don't think that that's really completely necessary. And I think it puts people in a bad position to think that they need to go out and spend hundreds, if not thousands of dollars. Because they're like, okay, here you go. Insulating layers, fleece down, synthetic insulation jacket, vest, pants, synthetic or wool long pants, wicking base layers, top and bottom, wicking synthetic wool or silk underwear, wind and rain gear, synthetic or wool hat, face mask or baklava. Okay, once again, like we just said, in a perfect world, you should not wear cotton when you're out hiking, camping, especially if you're
dry.
It doesn't dry. But guess what? You can do it if you don't have dry wicking stuff, and then you're not hiking out in Colorado where you can get stuck on top of a mountain, you'll be okay. I'm sorry, but I've gone hiking many a times wearing cotton, and it just, once again, small hikes. I'm not worried about that.
First 25 years of my life, I did it.
Right.
I have a buddy who's survivalist, and he basically what they did, they bought a waterproof bag, a backpack that's made for survivalist stuff, and basically fill that bag with what you need, and that's it. That's what they go by, and all that stuff in there kind of covers all those grounds, kind of in a way. But that list is a little excessive, Well,
just imagine
they basically
what
have
your
stuff
pack would
to keep
weigh.
warm, canvas.
That's what I was
dry, fire starter, et cetera, et cetera.
It's a game of pounds, and I remember, when I used to do a lot more backpacking, at least it was always, you always worried about keeping your poundage down. So water's always going to be the heaviest part. So let's say you take a light like a day pack. And most day packs have a slot on each side for your water, your water bottles. And I forget the ounces of water that your big Nalgene's are, Mike, but mine are 32. So 32 on each side. That right there is, what is it, pound per ounce or something like that? Isn't that what it works out to be?
Off the top of my head,
I forget. Look it up. But that's going to be most of your weight. And then all that other stuff that's on that list, we're talking right now already without clothes or water, we're talking close to 30 pounds worth of weight. And that's for a normal person to just go hiking with. Let's face it, most people that are going to go for a day hike, you're doing a 3-mile loop.
Right.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you're going out in the wild, why the hell do you need a camera? Some of that stuff on that list is what? You're gonna take pictures of you dying and make a movie like that kid who went to Alaska with no experience and now hailed as a hero. Like, dude, if I would have knew that kid and he told me like I'm going to Alaska, and I don't know how to kill anything or process it, I'd have said you're gonna die. Like, sorry. I mean,
great story, but he ate poison berries,
right?
guys, and
I mean, he seemed like a really good guy, but you know,
right. It's a tragedy that
it is a
Chris McCann
tragedy.
But don't you know when you go
shouldn't push the bounds of what you know. Like,
yes, thank you. That's exactly what it was I was saying. Hey,
I'm not going to get on the surfboard and hop in jaws and be like, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to drown. Like, surprise.
Well, that's the first level there, right? Is like, bring what you need. And, right here, right, rei.com, the 10 essentials. Start by making sure you're carrying the 10 essentials. This is a collection of gear and clothing that hikers should carry whenever they step on a trail. The collection includes things for navigation, absolutely. Sun protection, yes. Insulation, illumination, first aid, fire, repairs, nutrition, hydration, and emergency shelter. I think emergency shelter, I probably don't usually bring with me, but everything else I hit on, right? Like I never walk onto a trail. I mean, this is New Jersey. You can't walk around with a gun, even when you're out hiking or camping or whatever, but like always bring a knife, like whether it be my Leatherman or, one of my other, blades that I have, and that accident. And usually I bring both, quite honestly, because Leatherman is invaluable in my opinion. But that just really made me laugh that it was like you have this huge list of things that if I didn't know anything about the outdoors, I would look at that and I would say, holy cow, like I'm never going to get into this. Like I need to go out and buy all this. I need a, yes, I have a whistle because it's on my backpack and it's built into my, my chest strap. Like, okay, I don't have a mirror. But why am I bringing a mirror? You know what I mean? But I also am a big proponent of, I have trail guides, right? I have maps. I have physical maps. I have them behind me here, like of pretty much all the local places that we've ever fished, place that we go hiking, and it's a physical map. But I also have apps for that. I mean, your phone is great for that, but your phone dies. So, you kind of have that balance, right? Like where you have to say, okay, you need to have a life offline as well as, the online versions. Now, one of the other things that I get asked a lot, and this is through social media, is Michael, that place looks great, where is that, can you tell me what to do, where to go? And that's from fishing to hiking, but specifically fishing and hiking, it's always an interesting conversation. Fishing, if you're a close friend of mine, I will kind of point you in the right direction to some places. I'm not going to point you in the directions to all the places I go to, right?
Gotta learn on your own, boy.
You gotta learn where to go.
Own.
But I'm a big proponent of when hiking or when looking for trails, I Google it, right? Like this is not secret information. It's out there, and you do the same thing. I know you and I will go on Google if like we're looking for a trail near a brook or a river, and you find out, okay, this is the easiest way to get to things. The information is out there. So, there's like NewJerseyHiking.com. There's a bunch of different sites here in New Jersey, and I'm sure they have them in every state where you can go on there and they will literally give you step-by-step on how to get their GPS coordinates to a parking lot, and then where the trail systems are. You can print that out. A lot of places used to is the operative word here, have trail maps at the beginning or trailheads, and those were great assets. But that does not solve the overall issue that you're going to run into when you get out there, right? So, case in point, I had a girl that I used to go to school with back in high school. She messaged me about this mountain that I used to go to, and I would trail run. I knew this mountain like the back of my head, right? Like I think you and I, Brian, we've have this places that we've been to that you could almost blindfold us and we would know our way around, right? So this is one of those places for me. It is, I used to go up there and trail run. I would bring, Roseanne and Kenny's dog Jack up there, and we would go walking and stuff like that. Very well versed in it. So this girl messaged me on one of my stories and goes, oh my gosh, where is that? It's so nice. And, I would love to go. I want to bring my dogs up there, my friend and her dogs up there to go walk. So I told her and I said, look, this is it. Like, it's a vast area, quite honestly. Like, it's a mountain. Like, you have trails running in every which direction. Like, there's a trail map there, but here's a link to the trail map on the, the website for it. Download that and just highlight it. Make sure that's it. It's a nice, easy trail, in my opinion, right? Like, I never have a problem. I'm trail running it. It's not horrendous. And, she goes like the next weekend, and she calls me like a couple days later and goes, she's like, oh my God, I got so lost. We did not, I don't know what happened. All of a sudden I'm in the middle of the mountain, nowhere near any trails. And she was out there hiking from 8 a.m. until dark and somehow finds her way to the road by accident. And her phone was dead. I guess she couldn't do anything.
She's panicking. Yeah,
panicking.
So she's probably up playing on her phone trying to figure out where she was, but you're not getting GPS signal up there.
Right. So she gets lost, finds her way to this road. Luckily, someone stops and is like, well, you're like 5 miles from the parking lot. Let me drive you down there. Drove the one girl down there to get the car and came back for them. So she's like, what did I do wrong? And I said, well, no, I mean, when you're out in the wilds, I mean, what's the first thing that you do, Brian, when you're hiking, right?
What do you mean? I
you're paying attention.
Yeah, you pay attention. You bring your trail map just in case. But in every national park or every state park, even down to the state level, there's what they call trailblazes, and all you have to do is pay attention. And basically, the trailblaze is going to have a symbol. Usually, it's a diamond, and on every few trees, for an in view from every diamond is the next diamond. It's the next trailblaze, they call it.
In theory.
Let's say, in theory. Now, if it splits to the right, there's going to be 2. There's going to be 1, 2. And the second one's going the direction that it's going in. But people don't pay attention to that. And they think, oh, I'm in the woods. This is great. Nothing can happen. I'm in New Jersey, densely populated. And let's face it, people get lost.
Right.
It's crazy.
And that there's a saying, it's an acronym, it's STOP, right? Stop. It's stop, think, observe, and plan. So if you think you're lost, follow those steps. And what I do is, we all kind of, as you're hiking along, sometimes you lose track of where you're going. I mean, when we were up in a trail not too far from here, like the trailblazes just disappeared. Like the trees had come down, I guess, and had obscured, or had, some of them had fallen, I guess, and time had washed some away, maybe. So what do? You kind of stop for a second, because I was paying attention, obviously, and I'm looking for the next one every time I'm moving. And I'm like, okay, well, it's been few too many steps for me to be happy with the fact that I haven't seen another blaze. So something else is going on here, right?
Yeah.
So you backtrack, right? You start to say, okay, well, where did I just walk up from? Let me go back to the last known blaze that it was. And because I was paying attention, that wasn't far. I mean, that was like maybe 10, 15 yards, walked back 10, 15 yards, got to the blaze. And I stood there for a minute and oriented myself and said, okay, well, logically, it looks like the trail's going this way, but with the storms and everything like that, it could have just been water running down the mountain that had caused this. So let's look. Yep. Is there anything else that looks like a logical path that could have been? And kind of look around, and sure enough, that's what it was. You catch the next blaze that was maybe 2 blazes ahead of where you were, and from paying attention and looking, you see it. But that's not always the case. And I'm a bushwhacker. I know you kind of are as well. I have good.
I just run wild through the woods. That's what I do.
We know.
I know how to tell northwest, east, south. Just by being out there. So I know I'm running north. I want to run back south. I'm a wild man out there.
Generally speaking, too, if you grew up in the woods, you have some level of survivalist instinct and training. So, if we got in trouble in the woods when we're, bushwhacking, we know what sign. I'm not going to say it on here because I don't want people to get themselves in trouble in the woods, our listeners. But we know what signs to follow in nature, naturally occurring. That's going to lead us back to, let's say, somewhere we would know where to be. Back to a road, back to civilization. Because in reality, all nature kind of, in the U.S. at least, there's certain signs you could follow that would lead you back to a road or back to civilization. Yeah. People can get themselves in trouble, but if you let's face it, people you can everyone listening, our listeners, you can attend a digital outdoor training seminar, and they're going to teach you how to survive to a basic level.
Right. And we're not advocating like what I do.
No.
I would not recommend anyone else do, especially if you're getting into it. Like stick on the trail, follow where you're going. Once again, a lot of these places that I go, like I've been going to for the past 20 plus years. So I know it very, very well. And, when we're following rivers, So we know we're, upstream, downstream, it's a little bit easier for us to orient as well. So, go online, find a nice, easy trail if you're trying to get into it. You don't have to worry about going out and buying all this fancy equipment. I do ask that if you do go out there, do not wear flip-flops, right? If you do get lost, don't hesitate to ask someone that you see. Joe loves wearing flip-flops.
Yeah. I mean, once the weather's any but close to warm, I got flops on.
Yeah.
I'm one of those firm believers, just be barefoot all the time, like those crazy guys that run in the woods with no shoes on.
Yeah.
Then again, I am a wild man and kind of go.
That's how you ran into Sasquatch, isn't it?
No, we were driving. We were actually driving.
But you were barefoot.
I would probably say that's 100% correct. I was driving.
Of course.
Oh, man.
That's a story for another time. But, I think, that even though it's cold out, you can get outside, right? And I think it's good for your mental health. You need to experience the sunshine. You need to experience the world outside of your four walls, right? Unplug a little bit, get outdoors. Even if it's just your local park, get outside and see nature, right? You'll see things that you don't believe. And absolute true story, I posted it on my Instagram page. You never know what's happening around you if you're not paying attention. Case in point, my wife was walking up the sidewalk and, I was right inside in the kitchen. I had no idea there was a sharp-shinned hawk right outside the window sitting on the fence. And she walked by, she happened upon the thing. So nature is amazing. Wild is amazing. Just get outside and enjoy it. But be smart, be safe. And if you have questions, hit up cousin Joe. Just don't listen to him about.
Don't listen to me. Hit up Brian. Probably he was the All-American Eagle Scout almost.
Oh, yeah. Except for
don't listen to what I tell you, because I go by the beat of my own drum.
That's for sure.
Probably wrong 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Makes for a fun time.
It always does, for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, if you like what you heard today, guys, please leave us a message on Anchor. We can definitely play it in the next one. Leave us a review, and please follow us all on social media. We did create a Gab account this week. Not very active on there yet, but we're trying to try different social media platforms and interact with our listeners in some way, shape, or form. But we appreciate you all, and guys, I appreciate you jumping on.
Anytime.
Always.
Later, brothers.
All right,
Adios, boys.
Later.
All right, so that was the Hacker Outdoors podcast with Brian Hacker and Joey McCormick. If you like what you heard, please give us a rating on whatever platform you are listening to or watching this on. Please check the show notes for some links about the topics we discussed today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.